So, this has been at the back of my mind for quite some time now. Let's talk. Don't worry, I'm not leaving YouTube, and in case you think that the video title is a clickbait, I'm giving you the answer straight. No, I'm not selling. Yet. Stay on if you want more details. Now, I'm going to give you a TLDR of my story. 22, turning 23-year-old Chiking last April thought what could he lose if he starts filming investing related content and posted it on platforms like YouTube. At most, his ego will be bruised because nobody wants to listen to him. Fast forward to today, it seems like there's actually people interested in what I have to say, and I can never be more grateful. So just some context, I had close to zero social media presence prior to this YouTube channel, other than the occasional posting on Instagram for my memory's sake. So truth be told, I started making videos out of spite. My thought process was fairly simple. Why are there so many finance creators from the United States, from the UK, from Australia, from Canada, essentially the entire Western bloc, but such a small representation from the eastern side of the globe? So from my biased worldview, I don't think we lack talents here. In my own circle, I have friends probably 10 times smarter than me, but they have never been interested in this sort of social media shenanigans at all. So to them, they probably came to the conclusion that the upside is minimal, but it exposes them to a huge amount of downside risk. Sure, if you manage to blow up and have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, you can make this probably into a full-time gig and call yourself a YouTuber for whatever it means. But what are the odds? For every one successful YouTuber out there, how many channels remain unnoticed? So on the flip side, however, by exposing yourself online, your privacy is essentially at the mercy of any Tom, Dick or Harry on the internet. Sure, strangers can mock, criticize, employ fanciful language to describe me. I've gotten past that stage. But when it comes in masses, I think I'll be lying if I say I was totally unaffected. So one quote from Tom Nash I saw on Twitter some time back actually gave me some sort of enlightenment. So people who get upset by social media comments never had real life problems. And I probably agree. I probably have yet to experience real life problems. So I think what amazes me most is when people, strangers on the internet, start lynching me on public forums, trying to dig dirt all the way back to my elementary school days. Like what the bro? Am I running for political office or something? Sure, if I have nothing to hide, I wouldn't be scared in the first place. If you want to dig, please dig away. But keep your insults targeted at me, not my parents, not my school, not at the places I worked at, etc. What are you trying to achieve? Saying that I'm a disgrace to my parents or I'm a disgrace to my university, and why did this company even hire someone like me in the first place? Are you trying to get me fired or kicked out or something? So to keep it real with you guys, the comments online was getting so distasteful to the point where I don't even bother looking at my comment section anymore. So if you have noticed, especially for loyal viewers, at least in my last 10 to 20 videos, I didn't even reply or liked any comment. Maybe with the exception of a few if you came early. So in Chinese, there's this term called 眼不见为净. It kind of became a self-defense mechanism for me to not scroll through the sea of comments to get my day ruined by a few cocksters that don't even matter in my life. So since the start of my channel, I've probably banned less than 5 users from commenting, in the spirit of freedom of speech. But I've realized that it's usually the same few actors, and because of them, the comment section gets directed in a certain direction. But I still chose to not ban them, probably because I was trying to uphold the essence of freedom of speech. Quite ironic, isn't it? Someone, an investor that invests in Chinese equities, actually cares about freedom of speech. So upon further reflection, I then realized that this arrangement was pretty dumb. So it's my platform that is offered by YouTube, but I built the community. Why did I even give them the opportunity to affect my day? And secondly, why am I giving them the chance to affect my viewers? How does the math check out? Furthermore, it's at the expense of my interaction and bonding with my own community because I've decided to not reply to any comments at all because of these so-called black sheeps. So I'm going back to the comments and I'm going to moderate them. Use this 3-pound jelly over here before you leave something stupid. Now, despite my lack of interaction, there's still a whole jingbang of you who still decides to watch my videos. And I'm incredibly honored and should not take it for granted. So yes, I'm back. To address some of the constructive comments that came my way and were directed my way over the past year, the most common one is that I'm probably doing this purely for financial gains. So I'm not going to weasel out of this one. It's an open secret that YouTube do pay creators for driving X amount of views. On top of that, for supporters, you would know that I've also taken some sort of sponsorship deals over the last few months. And mostly, they are all just brokerage platforms like Weibo, Momo, Tiger, etc. So the fact of the matter is, I'm a user of all the said platforms for my own investing journey. And they're essentially running incredible promotions on their end. So why should I stop myself from recommending them? So I've never pumped a penny stock or crypto before, even though there's literally one email every other day. And especially for salty people out there that says that I'm completely financially driven, scroll down, look at all my links. My Substack and Discord are all free to the public. I don't sell any courses. I don't have an inside community. Heck, I don't even have a YouTube join button and have never received any donations from my live streams before. It's basically physically impossible for you to send money my way. What kind of clown business model is this with such a lack of monetization? By the way, I'm not against other creators that do one or all of the above. It's still a business at the end of the day. In future, I will probably do something similar if I decide to go down this route. But I haven't, because when money comes into the picture, things can get a little bit complicated. And I need to be cocksure that I bring enough value. Funny thing, my Substack and Discord is absolutely free of charge, but people still choose not to join. Side note, the barriers to entry to YouTube is basically zero. Just whip out your iPhone, talk some trash, because most YouTubers all talk trash, isn't it? And just upload and wait for people to watch your videos. So I wish all those salty people at the side all the best in earning all the money in the world with such an easy job. Now, I've also gotten many comments along the lines of, are you not afraid of the property crisis in China? What do you think of the drought and energy problem in China today? What's going to happen to the economic slowdown in China? What if in the next decade, China's GDP is going to grow at 1 to 2%? So my reply is extremely simple. I'm sure the government officials are even more worried about those questions than we are. When you're bombarded with so many negativity, especially on the mainstream media, you inevitably think that this is a doomsday scenario. But I remain an optimist that they will come out stronger from whatever there is to come. Sure, it does seem extremely pessimistic in the short term, and if you were to point at a specific problem and ask me for a solution, I probably can't give you an answer readily. I touch my heart. For one, I'm not part of the CCP, so they don't have to report their plans to me. Number two, if I'm that good, I wouldn't be here on YouTube. I should be governing a country instead. Similarly, if I were to point back at the same problem and ask the critics on how exactly is it going to cause China to collapse, the specifics of when, why, and how, they probably cannot offer a compelling argument as well. So at the end of the day, we are all speculating, so don't waste too much time on that. Lastly, discussing about what is going to trigger me to sell Alibaba. The answer has always been the same: when the business is impaired. So I don't care what is the reason for the impairment. As long as the business fundamentals becomes unhealthy, and it should reflect permanent impairment, whether is it because of governments, regulations, the management team, competitors, etc., that's a sell. And in my humble assessment, I don't believe we are at the stage for these Chinese big tech names yet. So why am I in a hurry to sell? So with that, I'll see you in the next video, but more importantly, I will see you on the moon. Goodbye!